Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Technology Show, where our experts translate geek into regular speak. How do you feel about mixed reality versus virtual reality? And what are your thoughts? Gadgets or games? And where exactly are you on the battlefield of Windows versus Apple? Stay tuned for our special geek guests. And now, it's over to our Techsperts.
Welcome to the Technology Show. That is the first time I'm saying this in 2019, where we translate geek
into regular speak.
Oh my God, that's a terrible voice you have there, Sternberg.
Let's see if I can try to fix it. But yeah, that sounded pretty harsh.
So I was going to say, how you going, man? But I think we all just heard, how you going?
Hey, it's fantastic.
It's too many flips up and down to India. I think you've got what they call cabin fever, literally, like fever from your cabin.
I think so.
Can I even ask you about the weather? Because it's just hot. So I'm going to say it's hot, but I always ask you about the weather. And you've been in 2 different countries in the last week, or 10 days, or 4 days. So
I have been. The one thing I can say is I've skipped the crazy heat you guys had here.
Oh,
so the
like
2
murder
times I
heat.
was into the murder heat.
Yeah.
So like 40 or 50 degrees. Like I was thankfully not here.
But yeah.
Indonesia is usually around 33 to 35. So.
Well, you brought something terrible with you, so we'll... Okay, I'll do all the talking. You just go, yeah, okay, cool. How's that?
Sure thing.
I'll take the pressure off you, man. I'll go straight into App of the Week. In fact, you're really not going to get to talk about this one because I think I did a selfish, but I'm going to justify the selfish. The app is called Pavilion, like as in a square, like a pavilion of area. I don't think it's on Android. I think you had a look and you couldn't see it. It's a game. We've just come out of holiday, and if I wasn't binging on Netflix, I always play a game. I did try to play, what's it called on Xbox? Far Cry. Man, those controls are too hard. I really wanted to play. Like, you know when you really want to do something, but I couldn't. It was like, I'm pushing this button and I'm pushing that button, and he's picking his nose and flicking his teeth. I thought, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go back to iOS and I'm going to find a game. I love puzzlers. It is a puzzler. What intrigued me about Pavilion is they refer to it as a 4th-person game. So normally when you play first person, you see from the point of view. When you play in the 2nd or the 3rd person, you kind of like hovering over that guy and still playing the game. What the developer did here with 4th person, and it's an indie game, it's an indie title. I think I actually paid for it. It's a paid game, but most of these good puzzle games are. So the game basically is no rules, no instructions, no nothing. You literally start and you land up in, I would probably describe it as almost an Aztec village of vines and stairs and stuff. And there's just this little dude standing there, that's all, and he's waiting. And there's a bell, and you ring the bell and he moves. So now you realize that you have to ring a bell to move him closer to the sound. And you have to turn lights on and off because he can't go through the dark. So if you turn the dark on the one side, he won't run that way. So you have to figure it all out. And all you're doing is progressing through these mazes of stairs. You're going up and down and behind, and you ring here and then it activates something, and you realize that, and then you find the other thing to activate and it opens a door. And I spent hours. It's like literally just lost hours on this game. Design, art, sound, you got to play with a headset. It's like, it's immersive. Like 9 out of 10. It's like really an intriguing game.
Do you think it's the music that keeps you playing, or?
No, it's like the puzzle, because
Yeah.
it's the same puzzle. It's just that he keeps adding things into the puzzle. So like, because you're using bells, there's like these big ringing bells. I kept thinking of Philadelphia, you know, the Liberty Bell, how it's like hanging. Well, not anymore, it's not lying there, but like you ring the bell and he runs. And then in the one scene, there's 4 bells, but the wires run like crisscross. So you have to, and you can't see the bell and the wires at the same time. So if you want him to go somewhere, you've got to look, remember where he is, follow the wires up, move the screen to where that bell is, ring that, and then quickly get back to see if he's moving.
Right.
So you're moving up and down. But it was just, you have to concentrate, but you don't have to focus, if that makes sense. So it really does immerse you into the game. Design, put together, everything. As I said, if you like indie games, and if you have an iPad, even if you're using an Android phone, In fact, on the iPad, it would probably be even nicer because it would be bigger. I must actually do that.
Screen.
I must actually do that on my iPad and have a look. See, Pavilion, definitely iOS. I would be quite surprised if he doesn't win awards for it.
Nice.
Great game.
Excellent.
Sorry, selfish.com.
App of the week.
App of the week done. When we were talking towards the end of last year, in fact, I think you even mentioned on air, we were talking about screens with a Z and news with a Z, and then we kind of said like we were blurring because we were starting to do reviews on products that we were really stretching the imagination to make sure it had a screen or a button or something, and you came up with
Thingz with a Z.
Thingz with a Z.
Thingz with a Z.
Z. Love it. So, new year, new, what do you call that? Segment? Description? Yeah. Things with a Z. I'm dying to talk about CES. So for those people that don't know what CES, it's the Consumer Electronics Show. It's in Vegas. It goes on every year. But before we go into CES itself, did you read about the Bitcoin debacle? What's the guy's name? Gary, I've got it here, Jerry Cotton. He founded Quadriga CX, which is coin exchange. Okay. He's died, like suddenly.
Oh, and
he's the only boss. $260 million of Bitcoin. It's not accessible.
Oh,
I read the whole article. They've even subpoenaed the wife because they thought maybe she was trying to do something, like trying to steal the money. And she said she's tried. Like, you put your kid's birthday and your dog's name and your favorite cat, and they cannot unlock this guy's laptop. And there's $260 million worth of Bitcoin. Mind you, Bitcoin's not really worth much, but Ether as well and Litecoin and
even so, it's still in the thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
so
millions, $260 million. So yeah, can you imagine what that was worth a year ago?
It was up at 20.
Yeah,
crazy.
Anyway,
totally crazy.
Do you have any other like newsy things before we talk CES or screeny things?
There's always news. I'm trying to think what I've seen today. Nothing popped up today. There's certainly been some stuff. I think I might save it for later. I like you. I'm itching to jump into CES because
it was awesome.
It was awesome. I think everyone's expecting. There was predictions of what's going to be seen at CES. I was listening to The Verge and listening to This Week in Tech and. Different opinions about what you're going to see. A lot of it was like, we're going to see 8K and 5G, and some of that came out. But there was some other interesting stuff. So
I won't keep you bouncing too much longer. I just want to pose banter.
Other news.
I was just going to mention Huawei. What the F? I mean, guys being arrested. Telstra cancelling their mobile network. They were going to build their own mobile network because it was on Huawei technology. Their CFO is in custody, I think. So it's not just arrest. It's like a C-suite. Man. Like, what's... do they survive something like that? I think that's the question.
Yeah. I do have a piece of news.
Tell me.
Actually, I'm surprised we were just speaking about it, but I'll take this thunder. Marshmallow. Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
The arguably the biggest social media event in the history of anything. And the fact that it happened in a game. And they took away the guns from the players for 10 minutes. They could dance and bounce around and do whatever. And then they actually ejected players that were like bad. But like for anyone who doesn't know Fortnite.
I was going to say you need to explain who Marshmallow is and what and which context. So
Fortnite being... again, it's a game. It's a first-person shooter where you go into an island and you eliminate other people. You can either go one-on-one against a whole bunch of people, or you can have teams. But it's kind of taken the world by storm of 13 and under up to 18-year-olds. But
no, 21-year-olds quitting jobs and staying at home to play Fortnite.
Yeah. I've seen mostly 7 and 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
So that's my exposure. But the fact that from the age of 7 up through to that top side, you're paying real money for clothing, for dance moves. If you ever see these little kids in the mall doing crazy little dance moves.
And when they walk past each other, they greet each other with a dance move, right? They emote. It's called an emote. So they emote to each other. It's like
the floss, the backpack kid. So all these memes and all these things that come out for any of us over, millennial age, we just don't know what's going on. But, you know, people talk about TikTok, they talk about Instagram, like, no, Fortnite is the place. And so Marshmello, if you do the honors.
Well, he's a DJ.
happened?
So
Yeah.
Marshmello's a DJ. He's you might have seen him if you go online. He's got literally a mask on his head that looks like a marshmallow with a cross for one eye and then a dot for the other. He started gaming recently, or referring to himself as a gamer, and being a DJ obviously makes music that's really cool to game with. So he went into a game and to launch his skin. So again, just to explain the skins, you talked about buying clothing and that, they call it skins. You spend real money buying a character or skin for your character. So Marshmello now has an official skin, and he has an axe, and he has a glider and all the other paraphernalia. So he went into the game live through social networks. As you said, they down-tooled, no guns, no fighting. He was playing with one of the other famous Fortniters as well. I can't remember who it was. I lose the names. That every day there's a new famous guy.
Ninja?
Ninja I think is old news now, because now Marshmello and this other dude are the guys. But they literally ran around the world, the environment, to his music. He'd composed music, and I think it was more than 10 minutes, but I think it was 10 minutes of them
slots.
doing it.
10 minute slots.
That's
you
right.
Get it for 10 minutes, then
then it moves.
your slot be gone.
Correct.
It'll come up.
My son woke up 3 times, think he'd missed it, got the dates, time zones wrong, but was very happy to say that at 6 o'clock on Sunday night he got to see the Marshmello event, and it's the best thing he's ever seen.
He participated though, right?
Yeah, and he's bought
Yeah.
the skins. Well,
Yeah.
sorry, I've bought the skins. It's my credit card that's linked to it. But it was good, clean fun though, and it was just another innovation. I don't know what the numbers. Have you got the numbers of how many people logged in or viewed? I don't. It's not something I've really followed.
Actually, might. The one thing I will say is, you just said, you know, good, clean fun. You're going into a game and you're killing each other. The whole point is sniping and shooting other people in the head. And I think that, you know, Grand Theft Auto was that point of, you know, you're in a real world scenario and there's, you know, you're beating people, beating women, there's prostitutes and stuff. This is not that. This is a game. It's the things that the people could do, the kind of guns and the Santa sleigh airship, and you know, it's fun.
Well, it's not graphic. You don't ever see blood. There's no blood and gore.
Yeah, but you are beating people, which is kind of annoying.
I haven't come across too many parents that are moaning about like gratuitous violence or anything like that in the game, because you don't see it.
Yeah.
Kay did get to shoot an AR-16 and AK-47 in real life when he was back in South Africa. He went to a range. I think he pulled the trigger once and got a fright as to how powerful those weapons actually are, as opposed to sitting and clicking on a joystick. In fact, I got the video of it. It was quite funny because you see him like he shoots and he just hands the gun back. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, so, okay.
But if you find the numbers, we'll blurt it out. But it was incredible, actually.
Yeah.
And the thing that was interesting, unlike other of these global events, Fortnite is geared to multi-traffic and multi-continent traffic at high volume.
Yep.
You know, when you went in the past, like in our lifetimes, there's been so many of these events, log on, watch this, or a sale happens and the server falls over, or, you know, whenever there's a big mass influx of IP addresses or connections, things just don't work.
Yeah.
This worked because they geared for it. They've got massive servers that are designed for high graphics, high ping rates, and just work.
Yeah.
So well done to them. And so he's still talking about it. Well, we're talking about it 4 days afterwards.
Epic Games.
Yep, Epic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a money printing machine.
It really is.
One. Yeah.
But what happens next, right? Like Minecraft. We were talking Minecraft a year ago.
Yeah.
Now we're talking Fortnite. In a year's time, I'm going to say it's VR. There's going to be a game that's that big that actually has that real Ready Player One type immersion, because the price of the stuff's coming down. When we get onto C.E.S, the stuff that was all VR, it was just there. So maybe, you know, maybe not this year, not 2019. I think Fortnite's still going to play, and maybe like Overwatch will eat some of it. But maybe 2020, we're going to see the first proper high volume, fully immersed VR game world as such. Bomb, as they call it, or bomb, whatever. Done. Okay, let's go to the fun stuff.
Get into it.
Cool. So the most important, exciting, brilliant, choose another adjective to add on, thing about CES was Apple. Had to be, because they never show at any of these shows. But they were the talk of the town with their billboard.
So I thought you were going to talk about the test card urine test.
No.
I mean, that was pretty important.
No.
Do you know about that one?
No, I don't know what that
So
is.
this is... It's,
You just stole my thunder on Apple, though, man. Like, let me finish with
I
Apple.
snaked it
You
in
see
there.
that? No, you wait. And make you wait now. Hold on. Apple put up a billboard that says, what happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone. So I'm a full-on cliche of what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, and that's about the Privacy Act. And as I said, Apple never, ever appears at an event. The only event that Apple appears at is their event. And they had this massive billboard. They got so much viral and social communication on it. Like for the first day of CES, it was actually all about Apple. And if you look at all the metrics that... Tell me about peeing in a car or something like that.
I'll tell you about the test card, but I think the thing about Apple and the more recent news with Facebook, the Facebook app, that they were paying $20 to kids to download the app so they could pull all the data off their phones and actually use it as a research device. Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
And so Apple kicked off enterprise access to the apps, so you can no longer actually sideload apps onto Apple whatsoever. So what it's done is not only kill Facebook, but it's also killed any third-party apps. For example, if you're in a corporate environment, you have a custom email app, and you have to sideload it on for privacy reasons or security reasons. That's gone. Any kind of
even their stores as well. So like what the medical guys do.
Everything. So that cut that Apple did literally could have put businesses out of work. Any kind of a custom data feed that you have data coming from an app or something out into another environment that is sideloaded in through an API app.
Yeah, they call it test flight when you bring it in.
Gone. So
I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah, so that action, it just took place in the last 4 or 5 days.
Okay, I didn't follow that.
But Facebook, Naughty, was saying, well, there's no other way we can get this data because obviously Apple's not going to allow it to go out. Apple's collecting it themselves. So that's one problem, is that Apple's doing what nobody else can. And I know that they're saying your data security is private. You can bet your bottom dollar Apple's using it to do everything that they can to put apps in front of you.
But they're not selling it, though.
They're not selling it, but they're putting apps in front of you that they're going to make you buy.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question here, and we've discussed this before with advertising. If you as in you, Aryeh, and you, everyone listening, you are going to get advertised to, right? That's how the world makes money. That's how the digital world survives, is through advertising. So if you accept the fact that you are going to be advertised to, all right? So we've accepted that. You can put ad blockers up and the things pop up saying, please turn off your ad blocker, or you can't read the content. So you're getting adverts. Would you not rather get an advert that was 99.9% relevant to you? So that way, even if you didn't take it, or you didn't action whatever the call to action was, it still wasn't selling you like, I don't know, ladies' pantyhose. I mean, you might be into ladies' pantyhose. I'm not judging you, but I'm not. Or red lipstick. I prefer brown. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Or would you just have the random crap that hits us at the moment?
So subjectively speaking, I would rather receive content, not only ads, but content that I've.
But even content though,
sure,
because like you get content that serves to you based on search.
I don't only want Apple to make those decisions. I think
you don't have to worry. You don't have an iPhone.
It's true, but I think it should be collectively open to anyone that wants access to that. And so right now, with Apple saying we're going to put a big wall between what we collect and everyone else, creates a situation where it's monopoly. And so it's a different situation. I don't argue in favor of Apple or not. I just think that there's a place for it. And if I was Apple, I would do the same. Because how else are you going to fight Amazon?
Look, they did lose trying this before. Remember the whole ads concept?
Oh, yeah.
When if you wanted to advertise on an iPhone, you had to buy through them, and that ended quickly.
It's all gone.
And equally, it's funny. It's funny that and I'm surprised I didn't see the story, being the fanboy that I am. But I have been talking about it recently, obviously not on air. We haven't been on air yet. But they're now starting to drop down their security on their NFC. You can tap and get a Woolies card. You can tap and get Opal or Oyster in the UK, rather. It's not Opal here yet.
That took a long time.
It did take a long time, but they have done it.
Yep.
So it's weird that they're doing that. So literally giving with this hand and saying, well, screw you, we're taking all of that back on this hand.
How many steps away from Steve Jobs are we?
A lot.
There's going to be an iPhone soon with USB-C on it.
They're
testing.
I know.
So, that whole lightning, everything. So It's
Yeah,
interesting.
he's already rolled in his grave. With what Tim Cook and the boys have done, he's already done the 360, and he's actually started digging to go further down because he's just like, get me away.
He's doing backflips.
Yeah. So, and I've said that.
Yeah.
I've noticed the post Steve Jobs Apple is a very different place to what Steve Jobs' Apple
Yeah.
was.
How many versions of the iPhone are there?
Yeah, too many. Huh? They're battling, right?
I know.
Their sales are down year on year, on quarter.
Totally.
So,
Oh, that was a nice sound. So let me finish about
the P car.
the weird and wonderful test card. And so, look, this is that space where the less you have to do. How many clicks do you have to get to get to something, or how many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? If you go back to the old days, right?
I don't even know what that is. What's a Tootsie Pop?
Tootsie Pop is a lollipop that has a chocolate core in the center, and there was an owl animal as the.
It's obviously an American sweet, or
probably
lolly, as
probably
they call
is.
it.
It'd be like
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and you bite through it, and you get to the chocolate core. But yeah,
I'm
Anyway.
feeling like I've missed out in my youth, man. I never had a Tootsie Pop.
so the test card is you send for it. They send you a postcard. You don't pee on the postcard, but the postcard has a reader on it, and then that connects to your smartphone. So you pee on the reader, and then your smartphone the camera analyzes what's shown on the reader, and so it has a reaction on the reader itself.
It sounds like too much hard work.
CES is not all about things that are awesome and sellable.
No. Look, some of the things I've got on my list here are borderline technology. But hold on a second. So you get a card, you pee on the card, but your camera reads the card.
Yeah, so I guess your pee has a chemical reaction on the little reader thing.
You're
So
doing
the
this
little
live. Like, do you have to
technology
have your bits out while you filming, or
No.
you
You
just
get-
pee on the card like a pregnancy stick, and then afterwards?
reader. Yeah, and then you put it in front of your camera, and your camera analyzes
Still
it.
gross, man.
It's still
Like,
gross.
I don't really want to hold my phone over my pee. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was that for? Drugs? Like to analyze
I-
drugs in kids or something, or
I think to analyze
Or
what
just
you
any
do with your pee.
pee?
Yeah.
It's, instead of sending it to a lab, you can.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
I think it's sugar, like sugar diabetes people. They
Mhm.
analyze urine. Let's be correct. Urine.
urine.
Okay. Well, I think my billboard was more exciting than that. So let's just go. let's
Definitely
go
was.
into some of the cool shit of CES. What have you go for it? What have you got? I mean, there were tons of things in CES. It's 3 days and 20,000 exhibitors
Yeah.
with.
So I think the overlying theme for me was, we've crossed a border into, it's no longer what could the future be like, and will there be automated this and automated that and robots, into it's already here.
Yeah.
And these things that are around us, the automated bread maker, for example, or the second year of the clothes folder, that folds your clothes, Foldomatic, whatever you call it. Like
Yeah.
having this like future Jetson style thing where you go into a room and just everything around you happens. That's now there. Seeing that it's not just about having things voice enabled, but Alexa has to actually do something for you. It has to have a purpose, and it has to actually work well. And so that automation, that smart home thing, well, it's not there yet. It's pretty much ubiquitous. Like, it's there.
I just want to interrupt you for a second, because you mentioned the Jetsons. Have you noticed how the designers have gone retro on their design?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you look at all the little contraptions that we've seen, it really, like you mentioned that fold thing. The day that comes out, I'm definitely saving up for it because I hate ironing shirts and shit. But even that, it's got a very like late 60s, early 70s, like all the corners are soft.
Yeah.
And all the colors that they're using are pastel and natural, and
Totally.
we're not seeing the
Blues,
carbon fibers
pinks.
and like
Yeah.
aluminium and all the aluminum. We're not seeing this stuff. It's like gone back, which I'm not against. Even furniture has taken that whole retro, and I wonder if this isn't just like man saying machines are taking over. Maybe we can still have a little bit of design flair.
Totally.
I look for different things. So normally on the show, especially me, as you know, it's always about mobile phones and gadgets and that.
Sure.
I actually look for stuff at CES that people maybe wouldn't look at, and one of the things was accessibility,
Okay.
as in like people with disability
Sure.
or needing. And Samsung got one of the top nominations there. They came out with a thing called GEMS H, and it's an acronym, of course it is. Gait Enhancing Motivational System, or GEMS. So it's like a steel exoframe that goes around your waist. You saw that?
Yeah.
To help people that can't walk and fix their gait. So instead of walking with crutches and keeping your arms free, this will basically help your legs work. Now, or not help your legs work, but more rehabilitative than fixing people that can't walk. So you're not going to come out of a wheelchair into a GEMS, but you are going to be able to assist through a rehabilitatory purpose.
Totally.
That's good use of technology, because obviously being Samsung, there's data that connects to the smart device. Smart device works out your location. Location then can tell you if it's friendly enough for you to maybe get up the stairs or whatever it is. I just thought, it was quite cool.
Totally. Enter the world of cyborgs.
Correct, right?
So I'm going to give another pat to Samsung, the Gear-In monitor stand. So it actually tracks your posture. It will move and adjust.
God, mine's terrible. Hey?
Yeah,
well,
so
we all are.
But it will like move and adjust and try to fix your posture.
So what is it? Like a chair? Like you sit and it moves?
No, monitor. A monitor.
Oh, the
stand.
Monitor.
Yeah, so it moves to keep your posture good.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're not just standing.
Yeah.
It'll move up or tilt your head back or forward or.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to adjust. That's quite different.
Yeah.
There was another one that, and I've like looked for categories, right? So in that same accessibility was Neo-Mano. That's what it's called. I think the company's Neofect. Oh, guys, come on, man. Neofect, Neo-Mano. Anyway, I've already given you the kudos. But basically, it's a glove, and we've always looked at haptic gloves and that, like with our VR stuff.
Totally.
This was an Indiegogo campaign that did go through. It's going to ship in June. But basically, it's a soft robotic glove that lets people with hand paralysis due to spinal injury or spinal cord injury, and cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis. So those nerve ending and muscle type diseases or injuries, it allows them to pick up everyday objects. So the hand, although the hand and the arm can't move using brain function, this will then do it for you. So you do pick up your cup of coffee or your book or whatever it is that you. It's about inclusion, right? And we've done some work with Luli and them here with New South Wales and inclusion. It's just one more thing that helps people that have lost what we take for granted function and make them able to do it.
Totally.
So and it's a small company. No one's heard of them. Gone through Indiegogo, standard at C.E.S. and yeah.
I don't think that this falls into the accessibility corner.
Are you peeing on something else now?
No.
Okay.
No. This is the Halo Sport 2 headset, and it electrically shocks your brain into prepping you to be able to do something complex. So they're saying you could shock your brain to learn to juggle. Okay,
hold on a second. That sounds a little bit so like actual electroshock therapy kind stuff.
They're calling it neuropriming. And
you can call it what you want. You're sending a shock into my head.
You're exciting the tissue in your brain artificially before getting into an activity so you can focus better on it. In other words, shocking your brain. I'm not saying it's good or bad, just saying that was a CES. And it's certainly like accessibility.
We can go down that route, right? Like the little sex toy that was awarded an award and then had it removed when they realized it was what it was. Yeah. You saw that? Good on you, girls.
Might as well share that one.
I don't remember the name, and we'll find it. I'll tag it up. But basically, a group of women got together and decided that there's nothing wrong with self-pleasure and developing toys that are connected. They used artificial intelligence. They used robotic interface. The thing was designed properly by a woman for women, and C.E.S. gave them an award because they classified it under robotics. And then when they realized what it was, they actually took the award away. So they won a C.E.S. Best of Show award, and then they lost it simultaneously. I think they didn't even make it to the gala dinner. The world is ready for that. Okay, I think the prude aspect of whichever faith you follow and whichever thing you do, it's gone. Get over yourself. People have sex. I have sex. I enjoy sex. I think sex is fantastic. So, if people are going to bring out stuff that make it better and fun and whatever, cool. You were just talking about Grand Theft Auto. We were shooting people in cold blood and riding over them in cars.
Yeah.
And it just has an age restriction on it, and you play it and it's okay because it's a video game.
Yeah.
So I will find their name and I will tag them, and kudos to you girls. Well done for keeping women happy somewhere across the world.
Now here's something that's going to put some bakers out of, but bakers' misery.
I know what you're talking about.
The bread bot.
That was brilliant. But Okay, so carry on before you think of the design and the retro. There's a perfect example, right?
Totally retro. It looks like how the
Carry
50s.
on. I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw that.
The bread bot, basically start to finish, it mixes, it bakes it,
Yep.
it does all the deals. You can do all kinds of bread. You put in the ingredients and it cooks it. Last year we talked about that burger machine.
Yes.
Right, but that doesn't bake the bread. This is like put the bread bot next to the burger machine. You've got the whole kitchen done. You need one person there to take it out and put it. This one actually ingeniously has like a window where when the bread's finished, you can open a little individual window and take the bread out and eat it. So it's very cool. It's very cool.
That is cool. I did see that. I think it said it does 10 loaves an hour. Because I was reading about that. I was like, well, hold on a second. Do I really need... I live in a really small apartment.
Yeah.
This thing's bigger than my kitchen.
Yeah.
So, like, how's it going to help me? It wasn't designed for me.
Yeah.
It's designed for restaurants.
Yeah.
Because 10 loaves an hour will
And
service a restaurant.
24 hours.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the hotel industry.
Totally.
And, you know, so you said something at the beginning of your statement that's going to put bakers out of work. It is. And we've talked about the Industrial Revolution and the tech revolution. This is not the first time that mankind has gone through this, you know?
No.
So people have got to stop thinking about, these machines are taking our jobs, and that it creates other jobs. I was saying, in fact, I think we said on the show, you don't need to be a lawyer or a doctor anymore. You now need to be an engineer. So when your kids, you know, for those parents that encourage their kids to become academics and become doctors and lawyers, awesome, talk engineering. Because the machines are here. They're not coming, they're here. You've got a bread machine that's here, and that exists. That's not a concept, it's available. But someone still needs to service it until another 50 to 100 years from now, when the robots can service themselves, which will come, and then we'll worry about that problem then. But for now, we need to just shift our mindset.
Yeah.
Learn how to code, learn how to be an engineer, and you've got a job for life. Your life, anyway. And then in 50 years from now, we'll discuss the next job. I came across it. This was under like startups. So the Neo Mono, that glove, that was a startup as well. These guys are called FenSense. So it's FenSens. And they said the cars of the future, this was their pitch, the cars of the future will be intelligent and autonomous and whatever else, okay? But it doesn't help for the cars we own. Now, you and I have always said you can only have autonomous cars on the road or human cars on the road, but you can't have both. It doesn't work. We've already seen the problems with that. So what these guys are doing is they've come up with a kit that you basically mount the cameras on your car, a little button on your wheel, and sensors, so it helps the analog car become a little bit more smart.
Yep.
Not fully autonomous, but it will give you robotic feedback while you're driving that you wouldn't normally have. So it's human 2.0. You're still in control of your car, you're still driving your car, but you will hear when you're getting too close to a car if you weren't paying attention to maybe, you know, the bumper bash. Your car only goes beep, beep, beep when you're in reverse or driving at 1k an hour. This is now just taking a bit further. And it makes sense. It takes you 10 minutes, you install it and it's done. You know, it's just giving you that layer of protection towards driving with intelligent cars.
So this is something that, and I don't think they're collecting data for anything other than just allowing you to drive better when you're driving the car. But the, you know, when you go overseas, like the number of car models available, depending on the size of the country, are more or less. So one thing I saw in Indonesia was the Toyota vans, like the large, I don't know the name of it, so it's a very large, like family van.
Oh, like High Ace or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. It has a screen, and in the screen, when you reverse, or even when you're driving slowly forward, it will have a camera that shows the top view of the car, and will show you what's happening all around the car. Like
Craig's car has that as well on his BMW.
Video of it, and I'm still trying to figure out how it captures what's happening on the side. And you can see some distortion at the edges of the video, but it's incredible that it's that accurate. You can actually see where your car is in relation to everything else.
Yeah.
It's
Craig's car's got that. It's got a cam mount on the top and two on the side, one on each side.
But does it get the full front and back?
Yeah.
Cause it has
and then it stitches it. So you know, like
yeah,
with our
it stitches
360,
it,
it stitches it onto your screen. Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
it. It looks a bit bubbly, like when you look, because you're looking at it from the top view.
Yeah.
So you can see all those angles.
Yeah.
It does look bubbly, but it's real time feed. So I said to him, if you ever bang your car while you parking it, I'm going to laugh, man. You have no excuse. You can see every single angle.
None.
But all of the stuff, now you mentioned that I said BMW, you said Toyota. You can see straight away that the more affordable vehicles are getting this tech as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting ready for it. When I go to the Bondi Junction, the Westfield, the electric car charging bays are full. There's always a car charging. Now, these just cheapskates that are leaving their cars there to charge rather than charging at home. And I don't think electricity is that expensive. But it's just a sign of the times.
Yeah.
And it's different brands. There's been Nissan, there's been BMW, Tesla, obviously. They're just all there.
Yeah.
So we're definitely moving into this space. You actually tagged me up on a Harley Davidson electric scooter the other day. For a brand like Harley Davidson with a big twin V petrol monster to be talking electric.
So they announced too. They had electric motorcycle.
Oh, they got the bike. I saw the bike.
And the scooter, but the scooter looked
and
awesome.
The scooter does look awesome,
It
man.
looked so tight. And those were both at C.E.S. as well.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we talked a little bit before about some health-related stuff.
Yes.
We need to go back to the specific topic. But Fastiche?
What? Fastiche.
Fastiche is a French company. They came up with the Y brush. And it's a 10-second teeth cleaner. So you basically put this thing in your teeth. And then you take it off and it's done.
All right, this is a health service warning. This is for the mouth only.
Yeah,
It's a 10-second mouth only usage.
Exactly.
Because you know it's happening, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, how should they get gerbils where they shouldn't be?
Don't be doing that.
So all those lectures I've given my son that you have to brush for 30 seconds in the front top, 30 seconds at the back, 30 seconds. He's going to go, no, Dad, I got a fish, what?
They got the Y brush.
Y brush.
That's it.
Is that a product or was that concept? I mean, was this their launch?
Looks like it's a
Because
product.
CSS, normally it's not just prototype, right?
Yeah.
It's like ready to go.
Yeah, this looks like a product.
No, I'm going to stay with health and move to fitness because it's something I know that you're also quite passionate about.
Definitely.
I said at the beginning of the segment, Apple does not advertise. They're never anywhere, okay, ever. But the wearables to follow and things like that, it wasn't Fitbit, it wasn't Garmin, it was Thingz. Now, Thingz was a brand that came out a long time ago, and it might have been acquired actually by Fitbit or one of them. But their watch is it's an analog watch, so it's got proper hands on it with digital interface and an ECG.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $130.
Yeah.
So just stop there for a second. $500 for an Apple Watch, I think. The ECG version's about $500. Okay, it does quite a bit, and it's digital and makes phone calls and all that. Wonderful. But if you're buying it for the ECG, and I've heard a lot of guys saying, like, they're 45, they're 50, whatever, they are worried about it, so ECG makes sense. $130, and it still looks like a watch. It's like an analog watch.
Totally.
That's definitely a company to watch, man. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Follow. I didn't. That came out. That no. I didn't mean that. Did you come across any of the other? Because I know you also like your wearables and your watches and.
This is sort of a wearable for babies, I suppose. It's a diaper poop and pee sensor.
You're back on the poop and pee, man.
Back in it, man. Right there.
Poop and pee.
And the thing is that.
So I know where you're going. It tells me on my phone when my baby's pooed or peed.
It is an IoT device.
I can smell it.
But I know, right? So this thing actually attaches to the outside of the diaper.
Yeah.
So your kid is already uncomfortable with the diaper, right? And then it's got this little weight thing that's sitting in between the legs, and it senses liquid.
Well, we'll just wait for the weight of the diaper to change, right?
It's just like, seriously, like you wouldn't know. Like you're a parent, right?
So you know where that works though? I'll tell you where that works. Sleeping.
Well, they're saying diaper rash as well.
But also for sleeping.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting in the lounge and you're watching your Netflix binge, because as you do, and one more episode, and the baby's still sleeping, they still go, right? That's why they wear diapers or nappies. They still pee and poo while they sleep. So they could be lying there very uncomfortable. You wouldn't know about it. Then what happens is eventually they do know about it and they wake up. And then your Netflix is over.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got given an alert, and this would actually be an interesting case study. If you got given an alert that a pee had happened,
would it make your Netflix more enjoyable?
Well, would your baby sleep more? Because you could change them while they're sleeping. So the baby doesn't wake up because it's hungry or whatever. It wakes up because it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
So if you could change it without it really knowing that you're changing it, that would be interesting. No, I'm not going to put that one. I like that one actually.
So I got
Good job.
One more baby one.
Tell me.
And this one's sort of weird.
Like the first one wasn't, right?
Dude.
You're peeing and pooing on a sensor.
Well, like you said, man, let's go for the stuff that's out there.
Sure.
This is the Baby Eyes doll. And basically it's like a security camera.
I didn't see that.
It's a crowd-based camera, but it's in the cameras are embedded in the eyes of a baby doll. So the baby doll is put into the crib to give you the point of view of what the baby's seeing. So if there's something happening, or you're actually having the doll looking directly at the baby as opposed to from a top view or a side view. And so you have that access about as close as you can get to the baby without having a camera strapped to the side of the crib. Necessary? Maybe not. Useful? Questionable.
Yeah.
Device or gadget? Yes.
But again, look, we're talking about it, right? Which means, and this is not an attack on Americans. This is what I love about America. There's enough Americans to buy anything.
Yes.
0.5% of the population buys a baby doll, and they've made millions.
Totally.
Or a diaper thingy-majobby, or a Why Things watch. I'm going to move off health, and I'm also just conscious of time because I know we've got tons of stuff. But it goes back to what I was saying about retro and all that. Sony 360 reality audio. That was what they called it. The only way I can describe this is if you've ever seen a man's electric razor with 3 round blades. So if you picture that shape, I'll actually show you so you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
It actually looks like that. It looks like you can hold it. You can hold it. And it's got these 3 speakers, and they're using the spatial technology. Like we've talked about that before, especially for small room environments. You have one speaker that generates.
Yeah.
I like Sony's products. I've always liked Sony's products. This was again, this whole design shift, and that doesn't necessarily fit in everywhere. But yeah, it's an immersive sound. They're now talking about MPEG H3D. That's the new protocol that they're coming out with. I mean, these were the guys that developed the Walkman, and you've got to give them kudos when it comes to sound. But you'll be able to stream through it as well. So it's obviously a connected speaker.
Yeah.
I didn't see any reference to Alexa or Google Assistant, which I was surprised. I thought that any speaker nowadays in that range, like when you're spending money, would have had some form of smart. This didn't seem to talk about that.
Now here's continue on the 3D sound space.
Yeah.
Razer this is a prototype. Razer had 2 things. One was HyperSense 3D sound that translated sound into haptic feedback. And so it took the 3D sound that would be programmed from the speakers from the game, and then had a wrist of the chair back, and then I think a leg thing, so that you could actually feel the sound as movement, and it would give you
it's like when you're shooting and you feel that. That is cool.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Give you the sound and the haptic.
And it's portable because it's just clip-ons. You're wearing stuff. You're not taking a whole chair with you somewhere.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's meant for gaming and
that's
stuff.
Cool. They made a cool phone as well. Is that the second thing you've got?
No, this is the Blade 15-inch laptop.
Oh, that's the Alienware killer.
It's got the NVIDIA RTX with the ray tracing in it built into it, but the thing was slim and slick.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's the Alienware killer.
Dude.
It still weighs, though. If you look at the spec, it's still got the chunk. It's still got the weight.
But holy cow, laptops are looking cool.
Yeah. Have you seen the predicted price tag on a thing like that? It's probably close to 4.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's it's not in your pocket change. I came across lots of Lenovo stuff. The one I was but where they've really, really got clever and price tag and everything is the Lenovo Smart Tab M10 P10.
I thought you were going to say the alarm clock.
And I saw the alarm clock, but that's same but different. That wasn't as innovative as a Google Home or whatever.
No,
and I used to have a little thing called a Chumby, which was the first connected clock that used an analog push button thing. I'm going back years ago. This has got remnants of that. What I loved about the Smart Tab M10 P10 was it's a tab, okay? M10 kind of tells you it's a 10-inch tablet. So it's a normal Android tablet, fairly decent spec, but the dock is a speaker. So not only does it dock in so you come home from work, right? So we're sitting here, we're using our tablet. You go home, you dock in your tablet to the speaker. 1, it charges it. 2, it now becomes a Google Home equivalent.
Amplifies it, yeah. So
you now have a Google Home that goes with you. Because I must say I do like the Google Home. I would get a Google Home because I'm a gadget guy, but it stays at home, right? That's what it does. This now is a tablet. It's a thin tablet. Lenovo is a very respectable manufacturer. I'm not sure. Here's the part that I didn't understand though. it uses Alexa,
Yeah.
but it's an Android tablet. Why didn't they default to Google? Like that maybe you can use Google as well, like Google Assistant, but surely if you're running Android and it's native, and why would you go to Alexa? Like,
so in the US,
of course,
Amazon beat
Yeah,
it.
okay.
So Google, we see Google Assistant here. because
C.E.S.
that came out,
America.
right?
Yeah.
And
Got
Amazon's
you.
been running for 3 years now with Alexa. So
You've answered the question.
yeah,
Right? But like,
makes sense. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
it should have both.
Totally.
And maybe it does.
Totally.
But it also, $200. That's what the Google Home goes for. I'm sure these prices are American.
Yeah.
So that would be like, what, $260, $250 Australian.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay $250 for a
Yes.
tablet that can become a home assistant when I get home than $200 for a Google Home. And the Google Home's a small screen, right? It's like a 6-inch. This is a 10.
I saw it before. It's. I was underwhelmed.
That's what I'm saying.
With this, I mean, for what it is,
Correct.
great. But
Yeah.
I think just time wise,
Yeah.
you guys jump on. But a couple mentions I want to make: the Beresur coffee maker alarm clock. That's one of these ones where and it's retro
Because
looking.
you
it's super
need
cool
you need
looking.
coffee when you wake up, right?
I mean, I'm thinking Pee Wee Herman's Great Big Adventure. Like this contraption that just doesn't really need to be there, but it's like, well, why not? Like ding, 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 and then there's your coffee. But and then the other one was, and this is really cool, was Procter and Gamble's Precision Opti skincare system, where you basically scan a blemish or your skin, it'll automatically create the makeup on the fly that you dab to your spot.
And post to Facebook saying, I just covered a big zit
Wow.
with L'Oreal makeup spot remover.
But this is like, instead of having to do the whole 8 layers of
I
different
don't know, I've never
makeup
had
and
to
stuff.
do that. I know,
neither.
I'm with you, man.
I see Marcy in the morning. She's, they go through the ritual.
Yeah.
And it's like, but this is like dap, 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 and you're done.
It's good use. No, that's AR. I mean, that's
The AI,
that's-
IoT, it's everything
yeah,
built in there. It's
definitely.
incredible. And imagine the data they're collecting as well.
different skin types.
Yeah, different
the
skin
way-
types, different blemishes. So it's always learning, improving.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at some of the stuff I've got. I've got a heated razor by Gillette, like a heated razor, so you can have the equivalent of a hot shave. I'm just thinking the weather that we have in this country. The last thing I want is a hot razor. It's like, maybe you can
dude.
give me a cold razor,
Yeah.
but I understand the benefits of it.
So the Impossible Burger 2.
I know, I saw that
Come on.
the non-meat burger.
Yeah. And this
no.
time it's got beetroot.
Isn't that DiCaprio's thing? Isn't he involved in that?
I think so. And,
Oh,
and
Leo.
This second version, it's got beetroot or something, so it quote unquote bleeds like a burger.
You see, now I wouldn't eat that because I like mine well done. I don't want to see that. That's even worse.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, okay to have your animals alive, but we can make our food look like it bleeds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have two animal ones.
Go for it.
There's a dog blow dry box. You put the dog in the box.
It sounds like a Dyson product. Like, when you're in those what do you call it, public toilets, when they have that hard Dyson hand blower, like full on power.
Totally.
Put that in there and dog's dry.
It looked hilarious. It had a little Pomeranian in it, and it was
Oh, God.
blowing around everywhere.
Shame,
And then
man.
this is something you and I would actually really like. It was a fully automated litter box for cats.
Ah, yes, I would like
The-
that.
the-
I'm getting tired of changing the litter box, I must be honest.
I think it's the Lavry bot. It scoops the poop and it tracks the weight of your animal. So it cleans automatically. So the poop and the pee, it cleans it up and all that. But it also tracks the weight of your animal, lets you know if your cat's eating too much.
Oh, that's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Again, data, right?
Dude.
And then it works like consumption when you're ready to order. It's all about all about getting that data to push
That's
sales.
And this is that whole thing of push it to Amazon, order you the cat food, order the litter, all that kind of stuff. So, it kind of builds in that automated system.
That is cool. Well, talking about eating too much, I'm going to finish off on my side with Whirlpool, the
Okay.
connected hub wall oven. So it's an oven, right? And that's nothing new. But the reason I found this one is that the front of the oven is actually a 27-inch transparent display. So it uses augmented reality to show you the food. So you can actually see the instructions of how to cook and is it cooking right. And that's so like if you do a chicken, put chicken in oven, push on temperature, see what happens. Okay. Here, you'll select that it's chicken. So using a touch interface, it'll show you what the roasting looks like. You can select and then it'll show you what to do, which
Right.
steps, what, and then program whether it's fan force. And I'm not a cook. I don't even know how to cook. I'm not professing to. But this would make someone like me be able to cook because it's a visual guide.
It shows you how
I
to
don't
do
have to read a book or a menu or a recipe.
Totally.
It's all on the device.
Totally.
It goes back to that whole reason of using AR.
KitchenAid had a similar one, which looked very much like the Google Home device.
That's right, and they also
Yeah.
took grease into concern. You could touch it
Yeah.
without, and waterproofing because it's made for the kitchen.
That's right.
And of course, KitchenAid being the brand,
That's right.
it becomes...
And of course, using KitchenAid products to cook everything, of course.
Well, of course. I mean,
Staying in the kitchen, there was a countertop microwave size dishwasher from Tetra called Tetra HeatWorks. And it was this clear box that was about the size of a microwave that sits on top of your counter, and it's a dishwasher.
and it's clear, so
It's
you can
clear.
see it working. You see all
Yeah,
that gunk
yeah.
floating around.
So
You can also see, but hold on. Like,
the
know,
gunk.
have you seen inside a dishwasher, right? Let's be honest, none of us have spotless dishwashers.
True.
Once a year, you clean them. Or you run one of those dishwasher aid thingies, you don't even clean them.
True.
Now you're going to see that grime. So it sounds great for the
True.
first promo wash that they did with glasses and no dirty plates. Yeah.
Totally. We did not talk about one device that had so many headlines, and I was kind of like, meh.
Would it be a phone?
This is the LG roll-up TV.
Ah, okay. I thought you were going to talk about the FlexPower fold-up phone, the roll phone.
No, so I mean, that's another space where, like, quietly and silently, like, curved screens have sort of been there. So LG had this curve of nature kind of space that had 250 curved screens, LED, just like around in this room. That was apparently incredible. So you go in and it's, the room we were talking about, room size VR.
Yeah.
But this is like a curved space with 250 screens, just like nature flying everywhere. But the roll-up LG TV is pretty cool. The other side was a Samsung Micro LED TV, and that was 4K, but using LED lights. And so it's modular, so you can actually make it bigger and smaller. And
That is actually quite clever.
And so it obviously the price tag's up there. The other one is 8K TVs.
I saw Sony was all over the place, 33 million pixels or something.
Where's the content?
Well, that's what we're doing with Travis,
It's
with
like
Lens.
5G.
He's shooting an 8 for VR, but
He
not
is.
for flat TV.
Totally.
We don't have it.
5G. Great. Is it safe? Tons of news out there.
I
saying
know, right?
birds-
And we're talking about
birds
roading these
dying
things
and,
into
like,
a
all that
house.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
know.
Like you're talking about like a untested technology, and like AT&T supposedly has 5G, but they're rolling it out. Samsung's about to launch the 5G S10, right?
Well,
Galaxy S10.
all the new flagships are going to come 5G ready.
Totally.
So
And
we're putting
you're
these things
gonna
next to our head.
hold it- Yeah, or next to your head or on your pocket.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be
down there by
fun.
your pocket?
Yeah. Yeah, so the mass exodus of the human race, courtesy of Samsung. We don't only blow up phones, we blow up brains.
Totally.
Look, speaking of phones, we've got a little bit of exciting news. The show is definitely getting traction. We've had some interest from a friend of the show.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got the shirt sporting there.
I've got the T-shirt.
So Alcatel have sent us a phone to give away, the Alcatel One. It's a nice entry level phone, definitely. In fact, you've actually reviewed the one
I
a
did.
few shows ago, if I remember correctly. You played with it with aluminum back end. So watch the post, watch for social. Honestly, haven't decided how we're going to give it away yet, because it's a podcast, it's not live. It's not like you can phone and go me, done. But yeah, we're giving away a phone, and we're going to be giving away phones. They've given me a few to give away, so for the next few shows, we're giving away phones.
Watch the Instagram feed from Eagle Waves Radio. Watch
Yep.
the Technology Instagram posts.
Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So you're going to have to just watch.
That's
You actually,
it.
and we'll know whether you're watching or liking, because you won't win one if you don't. I think we're done.
I think so.
That's probably the way to go. We'll have to leave XR for another day or next week. But it
Fantastic.
was fun talking about CS. I say this every time I talk about CS. I've got to go. Like, next year I'm going, or next year I'm going. Or next year, maybe Eagle Wave Radio will have to send us over to go and report
live-
from Vegas.
Live
Or
podcast.
no, our sponsor might have to take us over to do a live podcast from. I'm going to put that into the works. One last little thing on a personal note. Tomorrow, it's 2 years since I've been in this amazing country. So I made my 2-year anniversary. They haven't deported me yet. So yeah, 2 years.
Right now, Donald Trump is giving his State of the Union address. So
Oh, really? Well, I didn't want to put that on my bloody anniversary.
next week we may not be here.
True. So, yeah. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Done. Are we done? We done? Yeah, you done?
I think so.
Sweet. Well, until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode of The Technology Show. Remember, for more episodes, hop onto eaglewavesradio.com.au, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Catch you next time.